Hello everyone, this is Linda, and today I have a entry to show you. I made this for Tinna Cappa's 500 Subby Challenge giveaway, and I'll tell you the rules so you'll know. You have to be a subscriber. You need to leave a comment saying why you like her channel. You need to make a pendant, and it needs to be 6.5 by 7.5. And the reason she wants them all to be the same size is because she got a new craft room and she wants to hang these up in like an archway or something that goes into or out of her craft room. So anyway, she'd like for them to be all the same size so that they'll all look nice hanging up there. And the colors that she'd like for you to use are pink, teal, light blue, or black, and you can use any of those colors. You don't have to use them all. And then she would like for you to put some type of an image on your on your banner. It doesn't have to be, I think she said it can be any kind of image you want. It doesn't have to be a stamped image. I think you can just use whatever you want as long as you put some type of image on it. And then Tinna has extended her challenge giveaway until October the 29th. And she's going to do the drawing on October 31st. So for any of you stragglers like me who would not have made the original deadline, we now have a couple of weeks. So come on and join in the fun. I'll put Tinna's link below so you can go over and check out her channel for those of you who don't know her, which I can't imagine anybody that doesn't know who Tinna is. But if you don't know Tinna, she does makes beautiful projects and makes very, very pretty cards. So go over and check her out. And yeah, I think I covered everything. I'm a little late with mine because I had to go out of town last week for a memorial service for a relative. And that just kind of put me behind on everything. So actually it was a week before last. But anyway, I'm back and pretty much caught up on everything now, and so I'll show you the banner that I made for Tinna. I'll try to tell you everything I did, but I usually forget something. Anyway, I'll move in a little. Okay, to start with, I used a piece of chipboard, not a real thick piece, but sort of a medium weight, and I cut it to 6.5 by 7.5, and then I used some of this paper, and I tried to put all my stuff over here where I wouldn't forget. I used some of this paper here, and I really can't tell you what the name of it is. I've had it for a very long time. I mean, it's in pieces. It's in like 3 different sections. It's just fell apart, and I keep using it from time to time. It's sort of an oriental theme, and I have no clue where it came from. I think I've probably had it for 8, 9 years maybe. So anyway, I used some of this because it had, I thought, some pretty colors in it. And so that's what I used on the front. I used this lace from my trim, from my stash. I used this, a white piece here, all the way around. And then I used a blue. And then, and it happened to be just the right shade of blue. And I thought that it just was a good color for this. Because I'm losing track of what I'm saying. So, anyway. Let me think about it for a minute. I got the seam binding, and it's the white Hug Snug. And I wanted to try to match the lace, and I used Not Quite Navy re-inker from Stampin' Up, and it is almost a perfect match. I was really happy with the way that turned out. And then I used this from my stash. I weaved it, the seam binding through it, and used that as the tie here. I used the same seam binding with a little white lace. Whoops, sorry. And made a poofy bow. And I learned how to make my poofy bow from Christy, who is Twins for Me Too here on YouTube. So thank you, Christy, for the tutorial, because I couldn't do it, didn't know how. Okay, so let's see. We've covered the lace, the seam binding, and what I use to color it with. Okay, moving right along. I used a doily that I had, paper doily, and I used this stamp, which I thought was perfect for Tinna, just a creative type of girl. And this came from Michael's. And I used this Versa Magic in Aegean Blue to stamp it. I used Wild Orchid Craft flowers. I used the pink carnations, and this was a open rose, and I actually dipped it in the water that I had used for the seam binding, and it turned out a little bit darker, but I thought it was pretty close. And then I used these light blue lilies, and they're also from Wild Orchid Crafts. These little doily connectors here and here I had in my stash, and then I made two little tiny bows from the seam binding. I used my Martha Stewart butterfly punch, and I punched out some butterflies using the paper that I showed you earlier. And then for my image, I'm not very good with coloring. I have some Copic markers. I don't have a lot, but I colored her with my Copic markers, and she is, what's her name? It's her. And Penelope, besties. Something Penelope, I think. Anyway, I used her. And I pretty much tried to follow how she was colored because, like I said, I'm not real good at coloring. But anyway, after I finished her, I put a little flower on her hat, and that came from this little pack of, it's actually nail art, but I think they make good little flower embellishments. I've never put them on my nails, but I use them for that. So anyway, I used one here on her hat, and then I paper pieced the little band on her hat, and I used washi tape. And I thought it turned out pretty cute. And then I used some bling in the flowers and here on her hat. Oh yeah, I forgot. I put a little cheesecloth back here. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And the trim here that I used is this that I got from Irene. Thank you, Irene. That's Crafty Irina. Okay, I think that's it. I don't know how many times I've been out of frame. I apologize. Anyway, then on the back, I just put my information and trimmed it out on each side with some of this trim that I used for the ties. So, that's it. Tina, I hope you like it. And thanks everybody that hung around and listened while I muddled through what I did. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again for stopping by. Bye now.